Welcome everyone to Evolve Every Day. Have you ever wondered what separates the truly strong from everyone else? It's not about physical strength or a loud voice. It's a deep internal power built on principles that many people go their whole lives without ever considering. Today, we're going to explore 3 of those foundational truths, the very first step on this path. And trust me, you'll want to stick around to the end because what we uncover might just change the way you see everything.
There's an old saying that goes something like this: to achieve anything worthwhile, you must first be still. In the quiet, you find your focus. In that focus, you find peace. In peace, you can think clearly. And with clear thoughts, you can finally grasp what you truly desire. Every one of us holds the answers we're looking for inside. We just need to hit pause on the chaos, quiet our minds, and truly think. Once you find your answer, your life gains a foundation. Your soul gains a compass. From there, it's a simple choice. Either commit with everything you have or let it go completely.
I know your life is incredibly busy, and the ideas we're talking about today, they're not simple. They're the kind of truths that you can't fully absorb in just one sitting. So my advice? Watch this to the end. Then, save it to a playlist. Listen to it again while you're driving or doing chores. I can almost guarantee that if you let these ideas sink in over the next few months, your entire mindset will shift to a level you never thought possible. If you can set your ego aside for a moment and observe the truly successful people around you, you'll notice they all share a fascinating trait. They can see when someone is heading for a wall, but they don't warn them. They don't point it out. They refuse to play the role of the teacher. Even with all their superior knowledge and experience, they offer no advice. This isn't about being cruel or cold-hearted. It's because they understand a fundamental truth. Lecturing and trying to fix people is an immense drain of energy. The greatest sign of foolishness is trying to force-feed wisdom to someone who isn't ready. The wise are measured with their words, while the fool can't wait to tell the world how it should be run. What truly convinces a person is never a lecture, it's a dead end. What truly awakens someone is not advice, it's a catastrophe. People who are foolish but arrogant or insecure but proud love to act on their own whims, which almost always leads them to failure. The most incompetent people are often the most domineering. A person's life goes badly for one simple reason. They insist on making foolish choices. They disrespect those who are more skilled, and they have a habit of trying to understand the whole world through the tiny keyhole of their own limited experience.
That's the reason. If you genuinely want to transform yourself from the inside out, listen very closely to these next points. First, the true ally. The person who guides you toward making money, who invites you to learn, who talks with you about your highest ideals and inspires you to chase them, that is your true ally. The person who intentionally berates you in front of others, pay them no mind. They are small. But the person who pulls you aside when you're alone, who tells you the hard truths you need to hear, cherish that person with all your heart. That is the one who will truly change your life. Remember, a real mentor encourages you, expands your horizons, helps you fix your own character, and fills you with positive, forward-moving energy. Second, know your starting point. If your parents were gentle or hands-off, you must learn to be an entrepreneur, to carve your own path and change your destiny. If your parents were powerful and authoritative, you must learn how to navigate systems of power and leverage the influence of others to get ahead. If you come from a prominent, well-respected family, you should use that reputation and network as your foundation to build upon. And if you come from a poor family, you must be willing to leave your comfort zone, to venture out into the world and seek your fortune elsewhere. Third, let go of the desire to save everyone, and instead, respect their destiny. Society's rules, its varying levels of difficulty, and the prices you have to pay, they are all filters. They are hurdles designed to sort people out at every stage. This is why they say adulthood is a process of elimination. The money you make isn't a reward for your time.
It's a sign that you've been chosen, selected by those at higher levels who see your value. Fourth, when you fail, look for the fault in yourself. The journey from poverty to wealth is a constant fight against entropy, against decline. In everything you do, there is an opposing force. True wisdom is about finding the balance between these forces, a struggle we must engage in for our entire lives. Think about it. After you clean your house, it will inevitably get dirty again. You have to keep cleaning. Our very nature is to be in motion, to work. When a person has too much free time with nothing to do, they create trouble. So get busy. You have so much work to do. Complaining about the world gets you nowhere. Next time, we're going to talk about what I call the strong person's playbook, something that will give you an almost unfair advantage in becoming unshakably powerful. Because what makes the strong strong? It's that they have grappled with one profound question: what am I living for? The weak can't even comprehend this. Their minds are occupied with trivialities. Which greasy takeout spot is best? What mindless show is trending tonight? If you want to become truly powerful, there are 3 things you must absorb. 3 things that many people live an entire lifetime without ever pausing to consider. There's an old saying that goes, "In stillness we find our way." This means we need to know when to pause, get our bearings, quiet our minds, and think clearly. Only then can we achieve what we truly desire. All any of us needs to do is stop, allow our minds to become still, and think things through. The answers will come. Once you have those answers, your life will have a foundation, and your soul will have a compass. After that, it's a matter of either committing with your whole heart or letting go completely. Why do some people take a step forward only to immediately take one back? These are the people who are neither here nor there. They're lukewarm. They don't commit fully to doing good, nor do they commit fully to their vices. They kind of want something, but they also kind of don't. This type of person loves to live for the approval of others, and eventually that whole charade crumbles. If you feel like your life is exhausting, it's a sign that the people around you don't match your energy level. You aren't filtering the information you consume. You aren't doing what you know you should be doing. Instead, you're burning away your own future for the benefit of others. If you don't want to live like that anymore, there's only one path. Become a powerful individual. To do that, you must first learn and imitate 3 things from those who are strong: the heart of a powerful person, the mindset of a powerful person, and the character of a powerful person. The essence of this learning process is like installing a new operating system for your brain. To help you better understand this new system, I'll break it down into 4 levels. Level 1, the information firewall system. This means that if we want to become powerful, we must be gatekeepers of our own minds, deciding what information to let in and what to block out. If you can't do this, you'll constantly be pulled back to where you started. For example, when you binge watch shows, scroll through celebrity gossip, or have aimless conversations with friends who drain you, you are essentially pumping useless data into your brain. You are depleting your mental energy while corporations profit. So many people live this way. The reason the majority of people remain stuck is that they love living in the world of emotional resonance and public opinion. Why do people who feel powerless love living in this world? Because in the realm of public opinion, energy automatically flows toward the perceived underdog. The media understands this principle perfectly. So they create an endless stream of content for you to consume. Content that pokes at your insecurities, triggers your sympathy, and makes you emotional, even moving you to tears. And in the end, you've spent your precious mental energy while they've made money off your emotional reactions. Therefore, a powerful individual must have an information firewall. Whenever you encounter junk information, you block it instantly. Level 2, the active learning system. Once we learn to filter out the noise, we can finally begin to absorb truly valuable knowledge. The long-term accumulation of this knowledge is what will help you build a solid foundation in the world. This is why filtering information and actively seeking knowledge are constant practices for the truly powerful. Level 3. The wealth generation system. The essence of making money is locking in on a project, and the essence of a project is helping someone solve a problem and then charging a fee for that solution. At this level, you'll discover that the wealth generation system depends entirely on your information firewall and your active learning system. Because choosing a good project is a skill, and executing that project well is also a skill. Level 4. The self-discipline system. A powerful person is someone who manages themselves well and doesn't get caught up in managing others. Are you going to bed early, waking up early, and exercising? Are you wasting your vital energy? Can you work consistently for 12 hours a day on something that matters? Can you pursue a single craft for a lifetime? For a powerful person, managing oneself is the entire game. They focus on their own domain, not on trying to control others. So, you see, the weak live in a world of their own emotional feedback loops, while the strong build systems and live in reality. And what is that reality? The reality is that a person's level in society determines the information they consume each day. That information shapes their knowledge. That knowledge builds their system of perception. And their level of perception determines how they think, act, and work. This, in turn, determines the level they will reach in the future. It's a closed loop that keeps most people spinning in the same circle for their entire lives. This is the underlying structure of our social fabric. Protect your focus and your vitality. This will be my most important piece of advice, so listen closely. First, let's stop pouring our energy into fleeting desires, because these are the single greatest drain on our vitality, our energy, and our spirit. There's an ancient saying that goes, "When the mind is agitated, the inner fire rages. When the mouth is careless, the spirit scatters." It's a powerful reminder that we have to be the masters of our own thoughts. A person with a mind full of negativity is like a house with all its doors and windows thrown open, vulnerable to every storm. Look around you. Our modern world constantly amplifies our every craving and desire. Access to information, to stimulation, is easier and more free than ever before. But we forget that what is free is often the most expensive, because the price we pay is our own life force, our own peace of mind. Have you ever wondered why you feel so exhausted? Why you can wake up after a full night's sleep and still feel completely drained? It's because you haven't guarded your thoughts. Your mind has been wandering all day, looking here, looking there, constantly leaking precious energy. This kind of fatigue isn't physical, it's a deep exhaustion of the spirit. We have to remember this. Every person possesses 3 treasures: our essence, our energy, and our spirit. Someone whose thoughts are impure, who is constantly distracted by cravings, will drain these treasures faster than anything else. But those who can learn to quiet a destructive thought the moment it arises will preserve their inner power. When the mind is pure, true energy is born. When the spirit is centered, illness cannot find a hold. What does this truly mean? It means that when your thoughts are clear and you are free from overwhelming desires, the vital energy in your body flows smoothly. Your spirit can remain anchored within you instead of scattering to the winds. And in that state of inner harmony, sickness simply has no place to take root. So how do we actually protect our essence, energy, and spirit? It's surprisingly simple. When you have a quiet moment, instead of letting your mind drift to external things, just close your eyes. Gently bring your awareness to your hands. Feel them. Then to your feet. Feel them. Then to your own mind, and offer yourself a small inner smile. That's it. Whenever you find yourself with a spare moment, just do this. You'll feel an immediate sense of calm wash over you. Your entire being will start to gather and focus. You'll begin to shut out the unnecessary mental noise, and your heart will start paying attention to itself again.
You will feel your inner strength growing day by day. This shows us that we should strive for simplicity in all things. The more cluttered our minds are with trivial thoughts, the more we are pulled around by our emotions and desires. This chaos disrupts our body's natural hormonal balance and throws our entire energy system into disarray. When you're going through a tough time, especially when you feel like you've hit rock bottom, the best thing you can do is become quiet. Avoid pointless socializing with people who drain you. Turn all of your focus inward on thinking through and solving the problems right in front of you. When you truly begin to think, you must learn to seal your lips. Because if you talk too much, you never give yourself the space to truly think, and over time, your mind just goes numb. If you keep going down that path, you'll become one of those people who just goes through the motions, completely depleted of their inner fire. Understanding and mastering your mind is everything, and this leads us to the heart of what it means to live a truly disciplined life. There's an old saying, "He who is not disciplined in small things will not accomplish great things." If your idea of self-discipline is just about forcing yourself to do things and avoiding procrastination, you are selling yourself far too short. You see, there are 3 fundamental levels of self-discipline, and when you reach the 3rd level, your life can only be described with one word: magnificent. The 1st level, this is where people fear self-discipline. Just hearing the word makes them feel stressed and pressured. These are the people who feel powerless over their own impulses. They can't stop scrolling, can't stick to an exercise routine, their sleep schedule is a mess, and they love to just laze around. Everything they do is dictated by their most primal, instant gratification instincts, and because these things are so easy to get, they get used to the easy results. These people might look free, but in reality, they are prisoners to their own desires. There's another type of person on this level, the one who cleverly rebrands their lack of discipline as being laid back or living in the moment. They are experts at making excuses for themselves. They'll say things like, "Life is short, why fight it? You only live once." They put on an act of being above it all, as if they have no desires, but it's really just a defense mechanism, a sad comfort for a life they've given up on. People on this first level have all felt a desire for discipline. They've probably tried to attack it many times, but after failing again and again, they finally surrendered, letting their baser instincts take complete control. The second level. People on this level are much easier to understand. These are the fighters, the ones who wage war against their desires. They have the power to overcome their human weaknesses. They appear incredibly strict, with immense self-control. They fixate on their goals like an ascetic monk, refusing to give up until they've achieved what they set out to do. However, there's a hidden danger here. In their relentless pursuit of a goal, these individuals can become ruthless, willing to do whatever it takes. And more importantly, after they finally achieve their goal, they are at an enormous risk of a complete and total relapse into self-indulgence. Let me give you a simple example. A person who uses immense willpower to lose weight will often have a massive rebound or even overcorrect once they hit their target number. They binge on everything they denied themselves. This leads to a devastating cycle of self-blame, a feeling of powerlessness, and the deep disappointment in themselves that can become a pattern of self-destruction. This brings us to the 3rd and highest level, a mindset of supreme self-discipline. Many of us have had that experience of getting a gym membership full of motivation only to use it a handful of times before it starts collecting dust. Why? Because once that initial novelty wears off, we're left face to face with an uphill battle against our own inertia. It's a hard fight to sustain because our primal instincts are screaming for the comfort of home to just crash on the couch and eat whatever we want. This isn't a personal failing, it's just human nature. But imagine this, what if on your first day at the gym, you meet someone you're drawn to, and that person is there every single day working hard? I guarantee you, that newfound passion for fitness would suddenly become unstoppable.
A new, more powerful desire has just replaced the old desire to be a couch potato. And as you keep showing up, as your body begins to change, you start to experience a profound sense of self-satisfaction. Pushing past your limits releases a flood of endorphins, creating a new and powerful feeling of comfort and accomplishment. This path has no endpoint. You'll find yourself constantly chasing a better version of yourself because you've tasted the incredible feeling that comes after the struggle. And it's the exact same principle with learning. We get bored, we feel sleepy, we'd rather be hanging out with friends. These are all perfectly normal psychological needs. The goal isn't to fight these urges, but to build a new, more compelling one, a genuine love for learning. If you talk to an A student, you'll find they haven't just mastered perseverance, they've discovered the joy in the process itself. So many parents say, my kid just isn't built that way. But the reality is, the child hasn't yet seen the real-world rewards that learning can bring. Our job is to help them see it, to help them feel what learning can provide, the status, the opportunities, and the pure joy of accomplishment, like the thrill of chatting with someone in a foreign language, the satisfaction of painting a picture of the world with your own words, or the pride of being at the top of your class. It's the same for us as adults. So many people say they feel completely burned out by work and family because they can't see a future. But if you really think about it, it's not that you can't see a future, it's that you can, and it's a future without any bright spots. The truth is, the ultimate form of self-discipline is never about fighting our human nature, but about aligning with it, about using it. For those who reach this highest level of thinking, desire isn't a burden, it's a lever. We never truly conquer our desires. Instead, we learn to use a higher level desire to conquer a lower level one. Those people on the first level aren't truly in love with playing video games or scrolling on their phones. They're fundamentally bored and haven't found a burning desire to pull them forward. Did those games ever bring them real joy? Or is the feeling after putting the phone down one of regret, self-blame, and an unshakable feeling of emptiness? Think back on your own life. You've had moments, flashes of powerful, positive feelings that ignited something in you. Maybe it was a moment of courage, a surge of confidence, a feeling of calm resolve, the grit of perseverance. Maybe it was a sport, a hobby, or even solving a difficult problem. Hasn't there been something that made you feel deeply, truly satisfied? That's what real perseverance is. It's about finding your own bright spot, aiming for that desire in your future, and aligning yourself with it. In this state, desire becomes your engine. Every struggle you face is no longer just pain. It's a golden opportunity for that rush of feel-good hormones. When I was younger, I never really understood the saying, success is a journey, not a destination. But now I get it. Once you've identified that bright spot you're chasing, every step forward, every small victory, and even every moment of hardship becomes magnificent. People on the first level flee from pain. People on the second level fight against pain. But people on this third, highest level, they seek out pain. Because when they see the struggle, they also see the joy that lies just beyond it. In reality, the ultimate form of self-discipline is really about chasing comfort, about doing whatever it takes to find true, lasting happiness. Now, when you look at self-discipline through this lens, does it still feel like such a heavy burden? Because true discipline was never about suffering. It's about discovering your own internal rhythm, your personal laws of being. The highest discipline is one that honors our human nature, a system for yourself that is comfortable, incredibly effective, and most importantly, sustainable. Okay, let's take this a step further, to an even higher level. When you truly find and understand your own inner laws, you start to understand the laws that govern other people too. At this point, you're not just mastering your own life, you gain the ability to positively influence others. The learning example I mentioned earlier, that's a real-world application in education, but the same principle applies to your romantic partner, your coworkers, your business partners, everyone. Think about it. Who can truly resist a temptation that speaks directly to their human nature? It's one thing to dream about a delicious cake. What's truly compelling is when that cake is not just a dream, but something real, achievable, and absolutely incredible. And believe it or not, there's even a level beyond this, but perhaps that's a story for another time. So now, can you take this principle and use it to find that unique spark that is meant just for you? Like an eagle catching the wind, soaring to unimaginable heights, our lives are meant for a grand journey. Every step we take, every footprint we leave behind should be filled with that same soaring ambition, that burning passion, that unyielding desire to reach for the sky. If this journey of self-discovery resonated with you and you found value in these ideas, please show your support by hitting that like button, subscribing to Evolve Everyday, and sharing this video with someone who might need to hear it. I would love to hear your thoughts. What is the personal law you're going to build for yourself? Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep evolving.